What's up everybody? In this video, we're gonna be comparing potatoes that take 2 minutes to cook versus 20 minutes to cook versus 2 hours to cook. Let's get into the 2-minute potatoes. So for our 2-minute potato, we're gonna get out a fork along with a washed potato and stab it a few times like so. Then we're gonna go ahead and get our potato and put it into the microwave, close the door, and put it on high heat for about 2 minutes. And after 2 minutes has passed, we're gonna go ahead and take our potato out of the microwave. Then we're gonna go ahead and grab a fork and take off a bit of the skin like this. And before we do this actually, we're just gonna let it cool down for about 5 minutes because it is quite hot right now. And now that about 5 minutes has passed, we're just gonna mash up the inside of the potato like this. Now once we've mashed up our potato like so, we're gonna go ahead and add in a little knob of butter, like so. And we can also go ahead and add in some salt and a bit of cracked pepper. We can also mix this around a bit more just because the butter needs to melt a bit. And just like that, our 2-minute potato is complete. And now for the taste test of this potato. Let's give it a taste. Just take a bit off of the top like so, and we'll rate it out of 10. It's pretty interesting. It's got some good flavor. It's not great. It's pretty decent for 2 minutes. The potato, it's still a bit hard, but I think it adds a bit to the texture. I think it's actually pretty good for 2 minutes. Overall, I think I'd give it about a 5.5 out of 10 though. Maybe a 6 out of 10. All right, let's move on to the 20-minute potato. And now for the 20-minute potatoes, we're gonna go ahead and get out 2 washed potatoes and cut them into wedges, just like so. Now, I've used small potatoes, but you can use medium potatoes if you want. I recommend using small potatoes just for a bit of a smaller batch. Now we're gonna go ahead and put them in a bowl just like so. And we're gonna go ahead and add in a bit of olive oil just like so. Then we're gonna add in a bit of salt, some cracked pepper, and a touch of oregano. Then we're just gonna toss them for a bit. And then we're gonna go ahead and put the fries into an air fryer just like so. And then we're gonna air fry it at 200 degrees Celsius for about 16 minutes. And when there's about 5 minutes left, we can go ahead and just give them a little toss and then put them back in for the 5 minutes. Now, once the wedges are finished, we can go ahead and take them out and just give them a toss. You can see how golden brown they are. They look really nice. Then we can go ahead and put the wedges into a bowl just like so. And we can just add a touch more salt and toss them around. Then we can go ahead and get some tomato sauce, drizzle it on like so. And here they are, the complete 20-minute potato recipe. Let's give one a try. Oh. It's very, very hot. I think the skin adds quite a good texture to it. It's actually impressive that these fries were made in an air fryer. They taste really, really good for what they are. The texture's good. The tomato sauce adds quite a lot of flavor. Overall, I think I'm gonna have to give these a 6.5, maybe a 7 out of 10. And finally, for the 2-hour potatoes, we're gonna be making English jacket potatoes. Let's get started. So first off, we're gonna make a cross cut about 1/4 of an inch deep into the potato, just like so. As you can see, we have a cross cut in the potato, just like this. Then we're gonna go ahead and get our potato cut side up and put it straight onto an oven rack, just like so. And we're gonna put it into the oven at 200 degrees Celsius for about 2 hours or until crispy golden brown. All right, now that our potato's been cooking for about 2 hours, we can go ahead and open it up. Take our potato out of there and place it onto a plate. It is slightly burnt on the top, but that's all right because most of this we won't even be eating anyway. So we're gonna let this rest for about 5 minutes so that it cools down just a bit. All right, now that it's cooled down for a while, we're gonna go ahead and cut a bit deeper into this first cut, just like so, and open it up to reveal the potato inside. And we can do a similar thing with this line here. Now the recipe does say that I should put it back in the oven just for a bit longer, but it's already pretty well cooked, so I think we're just gonna do it at this. Now we can add whatever toppings we want. In my case, I'm gonna add a big knob of butter inside and let it melt, and mix it around a bit just like so. And once most of the butter has melted just like so, I'm gonna add in a bit of salt along with some pepper, and I'm just gonna top it off with some cheese. All right, so here it is, the finale. The English Jacket 2-hour potato. Let's give it a try and rate it out of 10. Wow, the Parmesan cheese actually adds quite a lot of flavor to this. I think overall this is really nice. I'm gonna have to give this an 8 out of 10. All right, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.